The question is, though, how do you deal with it? How do you handle the stuff that's coming up in your life? And that's a big distinction. So that's what we're here to talk about. First and foremost, happy holidays, everybody. So nice to have you here. I pray everybody had a really awesome Christmas. Sarah, you are clearly of the Christmas nature. I like that. Hey, April, I see you're also in the spirit. That's nice to see. Good to see you. Hey, John, welcome. Ravi and Rick and Pat and Navreet, welcome. Glad you guys are here. Jason and Jason's iPhone, both of you. Uh, Amy, how are you? How was your Christmas?
Fantastic. All five of my kids were here, so that was wonderful.
Well, that is a blessing. We had a very low key Christmas. I have a very I have the best wife. I will start this off before we dive into the material and how we're going to make 2026 so awesome for you. Sarah, I have three kids and they're just perfect. They know that at Christmas time they get 10 gifts. They don't get 11, they don't get nine, they get 10. Santa Claus gives them one. Mom and dad give them nine, and they might be a t-shirt, it might be socks, but that's one of their gifts, and it works out great. Less stress, never have to wonder if we've done enough for each kid, and they all know that that's Christmas. It's not a let's go shop and spend as much money as we can and regret it for another 2 or 3 months afterwards. And it's perfect. And then my wife and we have a different agreement. We have been blessed, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Our life is massively blessed, and we both have everything that we want. And so, because we both have everything that we want, early on, I made an agreement with my wife to not buy me any gifts. Nothing. Don't get me anything, please. Don't get me a cupcake. Don't get me anything because I don't want that level of stress on her. And through the course of the year, we get each other tons of gifts, but at Christmas time, we don't. And you would be surprised as to how much, number one, stress it takes off, but how much more meaningful the holidays are when they're not about making sure we got the gift right. It's about getting the holiday and the celebration right. And so yesterday, my beautiful bride cooked up an absolutely stellar prime rib. And for my vegetarian friends, which one of my sisters is a vegetarian, had some just remarkable vegetarian dishes, and it was exceptional. It was absolutely awesome and just got me reflecting on what matters. So let's dive in. First and foremost, I'm coming to you live from my beach house where all the rain's coming down and where the electricity got knocked out. This is my vacation home. Thank you, God. This is where we go to when we want to celebrate holidays or we want to get away and get to the beach. It's right on the ocean in Southern California, a little town called Carlsbad, North County, San Diego. My main residence is in Las Vegas. And like I said, my rig is out. My lights are out. My part of my rig is out. It got zapped in the power outage. But one of the other things that I'll tell you is that the house in Vegas is 17,000 square feet. Sits on an acre and a half. We've got a full-sized tennis court there, purple tennis court, 110,000-gallon swimming pool. We've got a complete skateboard park, half basketball court, putting green, giant movie theater inside the house, and so much more. It's amazing. The vacation home that I'm in right now, our beach house, is right on the beach. We've got a private patch of beach right in front of the house and steps down to the public beach, the Pacific Ocean. We go back and forth primarily on private jets. Why? Because they're private jets. That's why. And the reason that I selected Carlsbad as our vacation home destination is our home right here is 11 minutes away from the nearest private airport. So we get in the car, we drive to the airport. When we land, the same style, make, model, year of vehicle is sitting there waiting for us in Las Vegas to whisk us away to Prosperity Palace. And I don't tell you this stuff about the glorious life that I'm living to impress you with me. Spend a little bit of time with me, you'll figure out that I'm already very impressed with myself. Reason I'm telling you all of this is that I'm just an ordinary guy, except based on the knowledge that this information that I'm going to start sharing with you tonight, based upon what it's done in my life, it's everything I ever imagined, everything I ever prayed for times 100 and then some. And so for the sake of this conversation, I want to back up a little bit. I was born and raised on a farm in Michigan. I have 10 siblings. My mother birthed 11 children, and we were extremely poor. A lot of those rural areas will have poorer families, and we were the poorest family in the neighborhood. Our house didn't have any running water. We didn't have any electricity. We didn't have any phone. We often had little, sometimes no food. The house that I was born in got condemned. The local community, I mean, it's pretty bad. If you get condemned in a rural area, it's bad. Basically, they were saying the rats can't live here, but it was also a cold Michigan winter, and we were going to die living in the station wagon. So the local community came together, God bless them, and they renovated a chicken coop. And we lived in that chicken coop for 4 years. It had running water, it had electricity, and it kind of seemed like heaven to this guy. Based upon what I'm about to teach you, though, my life is very, very, very different. As I mentioned, these days, my main residence, 17,000 square foot home in Las Vegas, vacation home, $10 million home on the beach in San Diego, back and forth in private jets, everything I ever imagined, and then some. So I guess the question might be, if I were you, what was the transition? What happened? What changed? I was 16 years old, and as I said, we were dirt poor, so I'm wearing my sister's clothes to school. I'm extremely socially awkward. I'm afraid of my own shadow practically. And a hypnotist, a stage hypnotist, came to my high school, and I volunteered, got on stage, and he gave me a suggestion that when he said the words "Sonny Boy," I would stand up from my seat in the audience. I'd walk back to the stage. I'd fall on my own butt. I'd roll my pant legs up above my knees. I'd climb on his lap. I'd put my thumb in my own mouth, and I'd say, "Sing it again, Daddy." And I remember going back to my seat in the audience where all my peers were, thinking to myself, there's no way in hell I'm going to do that. I am not going to embarrass myself in front of the whole school. And I go back to my seat, and I'm sitting there, and I remember I was looking at this girl I had a crush on, and the hypnotist said the words "Sonny Boy." And I felt like a magnet was pulling me back to the stage. And the whole time I'm going back, I'm thinking, I don't have to do this. Yet I'm back on stage, on my butt, pant legs up, thumb in my mouth, on his lap, "Sing it again, Daddy." That was profound. I went home that night and I thought to myself, was I actually hypnotized, or was I just doing what the hypnotist told me to do? And I thought, well, what if he had told you to be confident, Marshall, and you just did it? What if he had told you to go out and be a multimillionaire, and because he told you to go do it, you believed that it was done? It was a certain deal, and you just went out and took fearless action. I realized in that moment, if that was hypnosis, which it is, then this force of reprogramming our mind is the most powerful force on the planet. Now, before we go any further in disclosure, I will tell you I am a Christian. Not that that should matter to you, but I also want to immediately dispel anybody on the call right now that might think that hypnosis was against anybody's religion. I don't know what anybody else calls hypnosis. What I call hypnosis is simply education. It's learning how to use your brain more effectively so that you can get more of what you want in the areas of your relationships, building wealth, emotional, mental, physical, and even spiritual well-being. That's hypnosis. On a more technical level, hypnosis is when one person says something, another person believes it to be true, and then more importantly, acts upon it as if it's true. That's hypnosis. Let me go one step further. All hypnosis is self-hypnosis. It doesn't matter how good the teacher is, doesn't matter how good the hypnotist you're working with is, none of it matters unless you're ready to be transformed. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. Same thing is true with subconscious reprogramming. I could take any one of you on this Zoom right now, and within 1 year, make you a multi-millionaire. The challenge is, I don't know at this point if that would even be what would be best for you. As an example, and certainly a dramatic example, if you were addicted to something and the idea of more money in your life would feed that addiction and make your life worse, I would be completely out of integrity. I would be extremely irresponsible to help you become a millionaire if you had other stuff going on. So what I do, and I pray all of you understand what I'm talking about here, what I do is I don't want to help you be a millionaire. Excuse me, I don't want to help you become a millionaire by having $1 million. I want you to be a healthy millionaire. And what do I mean by that? I want you to be the kind of a person that produces massive financial and prosperity-based results, yet that person isn't a drug addict. That person isn't going to go destroy their lives and gamble away their fortunes and create a family that hates them, because that person who's actually earned the money, become a new person, is the kind of a person that will have, number one, money for the rest of their life. Number two, it will multiply the good qualities inside of them and not the bad ones. You know, you show me a person without money with challenges, and I'll show you a person with money that has challenges multiplied. You show me somebody that's a jerk when they're broke, and I'll show you an absolutely horrendous human being when they have cash. So the first thing that I do in helping people understand how to step into that better life is realize, and for those of you, by the way, that are taking notes, take as many as you can. The more notes you take, the more you'll program your brain. The more you program your brain, the smarter you'll become. The smarter you become, the richer you will become. The richer you become, the better looking you will become. Trust me on this one. I know for a fact that works. You should see my wife. The bottom line is when you change what you think, you will change what you do. And now that you're taking notes on a big clean sheet of paper, big bold block letters, I want you to write down these words: take action now. Take action now. When? Right now, because tomorrow never comes. How many of you listening to this conversation right now, sitting on this Zoom, are older than you thought you would be at this point in your life? Just kind of give me a little wave. Who understands what I'm asking you? How many of you thought you'd be in a different place right now? You'd have more money or better relationships, or maybe you'd just be happier. The point of that is that the idea of taking action in the present moment is one of the most powerful mindsets you could possibly have. I'm going to give you the 3 skills required for creating anything you want in any area of your life. And then after I've taught you these 3 skills, I'm going to invite you to a very powerful program that I teach called The Turning Point. I've been teaching it for over 40 years. 1.2 million people, that's with an M, million, have come through The Turning Point live, and about double that have experienced it online. So a lot of people for the last 40 years have had the transformational experience of what Turning Point actually is. Sometimes people ask me, Turning Point, is that Charlie? Is that Charlie's organization? No, Charlie was born, I think, in '86, if I'm accurate. And Turning Point, I have been teaching Turning Point since 1980. So I started a little bit before he did at the same time. Frankly, we stand on a lot of similar values, just for those of you that are curious. The bottom line is there's 3 things you need to get anything you want. The first, I want you to write this down, is called self-mastery. What is self-mastery? Self-mastery is total control of your thoughts and emotions. Nothing has any power except the power that you give to it. I mentioned somebody like a Charlie Kirk, and in my mind, not controversial in the least. In some other people's minds, more controversial. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Nothing has any power except the power that we give to it. What we believe to be true is true for us, nothing else. You can either believe that we are in remarkable economic times, which, by the way, we are, and we're about to step into them. 2026, I mark my words, we're recording this conversation. I'll play it back halfway through next year. 2026, for so many reasons, is going to be your financially biggest and greatest year ever. Promise you. Mark my words. Every financial indicator is saying that it's about to be. And silver has more than doubled in the past 90 days. So, you know, when silver is rising, everything else in life is going to be good. Self-mastery is also understanding, write this down, that reality is created by validation. Why is that an important note for you? If, in fact, as I mentioned a moment ago, I could take any one of you on this call right now and within 12 months make you a multimillionaire, first and foremost, I want to know who would like it to be them. If you'd like it to be you, just give me a little wave. Let me see your face. Just give me a little wave. Thank you, Navreet, and thank you, Natalie. Glad to see you there. I want it to be you. Some people don't have their camera on, and what that means to me is they're only halfway committed. Some people aren't fully vested. I get that. They want to kind of put their toe in the pond. Here's the challenge. Life doesn't have a pond. Life is the pond. And you're either living or you're not living. If you've got 1 foot on the shore and 1 foot in the boat, your butt's in the water. So let the lesson of 2026 be that you start committing to things. Since reality is created by validation, I could line up any one of the thousands of people that I have made into multimillionaires on this Zoom right now. Bring them on, show you the testimonial, let you listen to their voices. Everything from people that have real estate investing businesses to brick and mortar, to multi-level marketers, to online marketers, to influencers, speakers, trainers, coaches, you name it, I've made them millionaires. How do I do that? Well, first thing we need to do is we need to help you reprogram and rewire your brain. 40 years ago, I created a technology. I started off as a hypnotist, and I said, I think there's a more efficient way to go about this. Now, hypnosis is the most powerful force on the planet. Don't get me wrong. There is a level deeper inside of hypnosis, and I want you to write these initials down: PND. P is in Paul, N is in Nancy, D is in David. PND. It stands for psychoneuroduplication. Simply put, in layman's terms, when you think what someone thinks, you'll automatically do what they do, and you'll produce a similar result. There's no way around that. When you think what a non-smoker thinks, you will simply lose the desire to smoke. You don't have to will yourself. You don't have to fight the urge. It's just not there. In my teen years, all the way up till I was 23 years old, I was a drug addict. I smoked pot. I did cocaine. I drank a lot of alcohol. And using hypnosis when I was 23, I immediately stopped all drugs. Called every last drug dealer that ever sold me drugs, said, you ever sell me drugs again, I'll turn you to the police. I knew if I couldn't get them, I couldn't do them. And I instantly stopped doing drugs. Actually, what is today? 898 days. I know Saturday, or 899 days today, because I know tomorrow it's 900 days. 900 days ago, I chose to be a non-drinker. I chose to not drink alcohol anymore. And again, that's not a compliment, or that's not something that you should look at me and go, oh, yay. The point is, what I did was through psychoneuroduplication, I said, okay, what would a person think that didn't have a desire to drink? What would a person then do that just didn't drink in their lives? Then the second part of that is, what would a millionaire think? What would a millionaire do? And when you think what a millionaire thinks and you do what a millionaire does, you're going to produce similar results. There's no way around it. You couldn't stop it if you wanted to. So the first thing that Turning Point does, my 2.5-day event that we've been doing for the last 40 years, we've got one coming up this coming month, January, at Studio Money in Carlsbad. We got another one coming up in February in Salt Lake City. What Turning Point does in the 2.5 days is, first and foremost, it teaches you how to reprogram your brain using psychoneuroduplication. The easiest, fastest, most powerful way for you to program into your brain the thoughts of somebody who already has success in the area that you want it. Second thing you need to create anything you want in any area of your life, and it really is this simple. Once you've reprogrammed your brain to think what someone thinks, and you'll automatically do what someone does, the next step is, what are the tools for the task at hand? So step one, self-mastery. Step two, what are the tools for the task at hand? Tools for the task at hand vary depending on what the task at hand is. If you ask me, what's the tool for the task of making money? It's easy. In fact, it's one of the reasons that I devote a third of Turning Point to this topic. It is so essential, certainly for making money, but also in every other area of your life. The proper tool for making money, write this down, is something I call irresistible influence. Irresistible influence. What is irresistible influence? It's not getting somebody else to say yes. Irresistible influence is getting someone to beg you for what you're selling and have them believe it was their idea. I just love the way that sounds. Yeah, I'll say it again. In fact, if you want me to repeat anything, you just look square into the camera and you think to yourself, Marshall, please repeat that. Because I'm telepathetic, I'll repeat it. And because most of my jokes are just for me, I guess I'll laugh by myself. Yes, money cures most things. What we focus on expands. And irresistible influence is getting someone to beg you for what you're selling and have them believe it was their idea. That's really the basis of hypnosis. When Amy is working with a client, like she has worked with many of you that are on this call right now, or when I'm working with my clients, our job is not to get you to agree to something. Our job is to get you to come to a conclusion so that you don't fight it anymore. You just say, you know what? Maybe to lose weight, I really do just need to eat less and move more. Maybe that really is the starting point. You know, to get off drugs, maybe what I need to do is let the drug dealers know that I won't be buying drugs from them anymore. And if they sell them to me, I'll turn them into the police. Yeah, that probably will stop them. It might be you just saying, I'm in a toxic relationship. I deserve better than this. I am healthier than this. And a healthy person wouldn't put up with this stuff. They would simply say, we're done. I love you. And so the first thing Turning Point's going to do, it's going to help you understand how to get clear minded. It's going to show you how to reprogram all the old garbage that's been put in your brain over time. Some of the stuff that you even believe to be true that isn't true, and reprogram it for stuff that actually works in the areas that you want it to work in. At the end of the day, and by the way, if you joined me late, I will apologize for the last time for the darkness in the room that I'm in. I'm down at my beach house, in the theater at my beach house, and it's usually a gorgeous, highly lit studio. We had a power outage right before I jumped on this call, and only some of the equipment appears to be working. So at any rate, part of what you have to focus on as you're reprogramming your brain and getting more in alignment to receive the things that you want, it's not what do I need to do? I want you to write this question down. The question is, who do I need to become? Because when you become somebody, no matter what else happens in the world, you'll keep producing the result. If I teach you how to make $1 million, that's all well and good. But when you stop doing that thing that made the $1 million, the money goes away. Yet when I teach you how to be a millionaire, not only will you make the $1 million once, you'll make it again and again and again. And because you are a millionaire, not some lucky schmuck that happened to make $1 million one time, you're actually a millionaire. Even if you were to lose it all, because you know you're a millionaire, you'd immediately make it back. In fact, if you took all the money on the planet today and you divided it evenly amongst all the people, within 5 years, it would be right back in the same hands. Not of the people that were smartest, not of the people that worked the hardest. It would be back in the hands of the people that thought like millionaires and billionaires, that understood the true way that money changes hands and the true way that money is created. So first thing you need to create anything you want in your life is self-mastery. When you attend Turning Point, like I said, we've got one coming up here in Carlsbad next month, and I'm going to check the date real quick. We've got one coming up in Carlsbad on the 13th, 14th, and 15th of January. So it's about almost 3 weeks from now. The first thing I'm going to do is help you reprogram your brain using psychoneuroduplication. It is a high-end, refined process of hypnosis to literally program into your brain somebody who is already the person you seek to be, somebody that's already receiving massive levels of success in that area by being the person they need to be to produce that result. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to spend a large amount of the time at Turning Point on something called irresistible influence. Irresistible influence is getting somebody else to beg you for what you're selling and have them believe it was their idea. Third thing you need to get anything you want in any area of your life. The third thing that you need is the ability to take action in the present moment. The ability to take action in the present moment. Tomorrow never comes. The biggest difference you will see between people that have massive amounts of success, the Elon Musks of the world, the Steve Jobs, the people that produce just outrageous results, is that they fail forward fast. They recognize that time is the great equalizer. Now, Amy, I'm looking at your audience, and I see a lot of your friends are very young, good-looking people. And I remember when I was younger that I used to think I had so much time. I used to think that plenty of time, let's get to it. I say hello to Natalie's daughter there. I also know, though, every last person on this call knows it's a blink. I have a 14-year-old, I have a 12-year-old, and I have a 10-year-old. And nothing has made me realize how fast time flies more than having children. And I'm sure anybody on this call right now that has kids knows exactly what I'm talking about. And for me, I also realize, though, that the self-mastery and the tools, they can be taught. The difference between me and Tony Robbins or Gary Vee or Grant Cardone or any of these other really remarkable trainers is they all teach. But what's going to happen for you at Turning Point is not only going to teach you, I'm going to program you to actually use those skills. Think about it for a second. How many of you have ever invested at some other time in other books or other tapes or other programs, and you know you didn't fully use them? If you're being honest, give me a little wave so I know. It's all of us. I mean, that's the challenge. You buy the tape series, you don't even break the cellophane on the DVDs. For those of you that are really young, DVDs are these round things that we used to put into drives that we would watch anyway. So I get it. So the challenge is not the learning. The challenge is the execution. The challenge is getting you to actually use the information. So Turning Point is going to, number one, teach you subconscious reprogramming or psychoneuroduplication. Number two, I'm going to teach you deep, heavy, hard-hitting, the most powerful skills there are in the area of influence. How do I know they're the most powerful skills? It's hypnosis. I have an unfair advantage. When I get on stage, when I go and consult for my clients, when I'm working as somebody else's spokesperson, my job is to influence and sell, and my numbers are easily 100%, sometimes 1,000% greater than other people in similar circumstances. Not just because I'm talented, I am, but it's not because of my personality or who I am. It's because of what I've learned. That's what you're going to learn at Turning Point. I'm not special, although I was in special classes as a child. I'm not special. I just also understand this process at the deepest level. And then finally, the third thing that Turning Point is going to do, it's going to program you. We're going to do trance sessions each day. It's going to program you to actually start doing things in a different way so that you'll instantaneously produce a different result. If that sounds good to you, if you think that this is your time, that number one, you want to learn how to use psychoneuroduplication. Number two, you'd love to learn the skills of irresistible influence. And then finally, you'd like to make it all easy and you'd like to be programmed on a subconscious basis. If you want that, just put your hand into the air, give me a little wave, and mouth the words, "I want it badly." Just say, "I want it badly." Awesome. So here's my question to you. I saw you, Rick. You were a little late, but I saw you. So here's my question to all of you. The retail investment for Turning Point is $3,000 per person. That's not the investment you're going to make. Amy made a very special arrangement with me to give you a very special opportunity. The question I have for you, though, is if it were free, totally free, how many of you would clear your calendar to come down to Carlsbad the 13th, 14th, half day on the 15th of January to set up your entire 2026 as your best year ever? If it were totally free, who would clear their calendar? Just give me a little wave, say, "Oh, yeah." Put your hand up. Oh, yeah, you clear your calendar. I'm looking. I'm watching. All right. Sarah's checking her calendar. I know that's what Sarah's doing. She's going, "Crap, I got other stuff going on." So put your hand down. First and foremost, it's not going to be free, although it can be. And here's the reason it's not going to be just free. I know Amy had over 100 people say they were going to be on this Zoom. She invited over 1,000 people. 100 people said, "Yeah, I'm going to be there." And as you can see, they didn't show up. And the reason they didn't show up is they had nothing at stake. They got busy. Other stuff happened and they went and did their thing. But here's the deal. I did some research when I knew that I was getting on this call with Amy. I did some research and we were looking at airline tickets and they were coming in at about 150 to 250 bucks for an airline ticket. Hotel room down in Carlsbad, right around the corner from Studio Money, my 31,000 square foot training facility that I built just for teaching people exactly what we're going to teach you. The hotel is anywhere between 100 bucks and about 150 bucks a night. So you're probably coming in somewhere around 550 bucks. Here's the offer. And this is for this event only, although I teach it every single month. Like I said, not only are we going to teach it in Carlsbad in January, we'll also be up in Salt Lake City in February. This is only for the January event. And there's a reason I'm doing this. I want you to get a head start on the new year. I want you to have massive success. I want you to come to Carlsbad, learn what this is, take that back to wherever you are, and especially if you're up in Salt Lake, and let other people know you got to get to this event. In fact, we're even going to find some really powerful ways for you to profit and monetize by inviting some other people back after you've had the tremendous breakthroughs that you will have at Turning Point. So this is informal. The reason it's informal, like I said, my electrical system went out completely in a rainstorm down here in San Diego right before I got on this call. So here's what we're going to do. Write this phone number down. 1-800-92-POWER. 1-800-92-POWER. That is the 800 number to my office. What I want you to do is when we get done with this call, call my office and let them know you want to come down to Turning Point. Here's what the offer is going to be. First and foremost, the first person that calls my office, and don't call yet, the first person that calls the office when I fully explain what the offer is, number one, I'm going to give $100 cash bonus to when you come to Turning Point. I'm simply going to hand you the $100 right there at Turning Point on the spot. So the first person that calls in is going to win $100 cash totally free. Secondly, the first 7 people that contact my office and say, I want to go, I'm also going to give you $1,000 worth of training materials. I'm going to give you a program called Passion, Profit, and Power that I've sold over $120 million of this program all over the world to not only teach you skills for better relationships, more money, emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual well-being. It also programs you to use those skills on a subconscious basis. I'm going to give you Passion, Profit, and Power, $220 value. I'm going to give you a program called The Secrets of Persuasion and Influence, which is a $400 home training program. I'm going to give you How to Hypnotize Others. I Am a Non-Smoker. I Am Permanently Slender. $1,000 of the training materials, totally free. If you're one of the first seven people that calls 1-800-92-POWER when I tell you what the offer is, here's the offer. Normally it's $3,000. I highly recommend if you're coming down to Carlsbad and you have a significant other, you have a family member, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, business partner, anything, I highly recommend you grab your best friend from church and bring them down to Turning Point. Why do you want to bring somebody with you? Relationships are like scales. They balance each other out. And as you set out to make 2026 your best year ever, you need support. You need people that not only will hold you accountable, but you can also hold them accountable so that you can have this great year together. So I'm going to allow you to come to Turning Point. I'm going to allow you to bring a guest to Turning Point, another $3,000 value. I'm going to give both of you a lifetime reattendance. You can both come back for as often as you like for the rest of your life. I've been doing Turning Point, like I said, for 40 years now. I plan to do it for at least another 20. And Amy's also going to be teaching it up in Salt Lake City very, very soon, kicking it off in February. Lots of chances for you to attend. I'm also, like I said, for the first person that calls in, once I've explained the offer, you're going to receive $100 cash. The first 7 are also going to receive additional bonuses, home training programs worth over $1,000 just for being one of the first 7. Here's the offer. $3,000 value for you to attend for a lifetime, $3,000 for your guests to attend for a lifetime, $1,000 worth of bonuses, lifetime reattendance, over $20,000 value, $495. But here's the best part. Here's the part that can make it, in essence, basically free and cover your hotel and cover your airfare too. $495 when you call right now, as long as you call during the next 15 minutes, because I've already let my staff know the phone's going to start ringing. I will give you the entire $495 back at the end of the event. All you got to do, come down on the 13th, 14th, and 15th to Carlsbad. Be there for 2.5 days, the entire program. And at the end of the program, whether you loved it or whether you hated it, doesn't matter. Just be there for the whole program. Give me a shot at helping you make this your best year ever, and I'll give you the whole $495 back. Why would I do that? Number one, we're doing the event anyway. Number two, one of the things that I'm working with Amy on is to develop a higher level of awareness up in Salt Lake City for prosperity and for the potential of what people can have in reprogramming their brains. So it's really important for us to begin a community up there of like-minded, success-minded people that want some support, want a community that can also help them grow, and more. That's all you got to do. 1-800-92-POWER. Call the number right now. First person's going to get an automatic $100 bill handed to you when you attend the event. Plus, you attend the whole event, and I'll give you the whole $495 back. First 7 people who call 1-800-92-POWER are also going to receive $1,000 worth of bonus training materials. And like I said, whether it's awesome, which it is, or whether you hate it for whatever reason, or you simply don't like the color of my suit, as long as you attend the entire event, I'm going to give you the entire $495 back, which gives you the entire program for you and your guest and a lifetime. And I'll even let you keep the $1,000 worth of training materials totally free, all for free, just by doing something for yourself now. It has been a blast being on this call with you. You are totally loved. 1-800-92-POWER. Or, Amy, can they also reach out to you via text message?
Sure.
Do you
I'll
want to
put
put
my
your
number.
phone number in the chat?
Okay.
So if you have any more questions, Amy has been through Turning Point a number of times. She's also one of our certified Turning Point instructors, one of our license rights holders to teach Turning Point also up in Salt Lake City. So she just put her contact info in the chat. Send her a text message. Say, I'm in. I want to make sure that I get in. If the line is busy, when you call my office, 1-800-92-POWER, or even if you just have some more questions, maybe I didn't quite answer the questions that you were going to ask, and you want to give Amy a call and say, hey, you've been a number of times. Tell me about it and what was awesome about it and how did it change your life? Like I said, basically it's free. With a $495 deposit, you can come, spend 2.5 days, have your life changed forever, have a skill set that you will have for a lifetime. And more than that, begin the best year of your life. I'm Marshall Silver. You're totally loved. I look forward to seeing you at Turning Point, and I look forward to seeing you either in Carlsbad this month, January, or February up in Salt Lake City. God bless everybody.
Thank you. Thanks for being here, Marshall. Wow, what an offer. Thank you, everyone that was here. I love all of you so much. And yeah, reach out to me with any type of questions, and we'll see you soon. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Happy holidays. Bye bye.